We finally have Peterbot not making a finals on NA. Is this a sign of things to come? Is this a decline? Why did he struggle? I want to talk about that, as well as which trios are now doing extremely well on NA. Clix and Rise's new trio both absolutely dominating, while unfortunately Canada and Acorn's new trios not even making the finals. I also want to talk about the drama that's going on in the German scene right now. We have Yanis accusing Rezon of potentially paying his teammates to grief him in FNCS. There's a lot to talk about. Let's jump into it. All right, let's kick off giving a breakdown of all the new trios on NA and how the Eval Cup went for them, and then I'll jump into all the drama that's going on with the German trios and what's happening on EU. So, over on NA, let's talk about opens before we even get to finals, because we are missing so many of the big new teams. So, both Canada and Acorn's new teams did not make finals. So whatever you thought about the snake eating, whether you thought it was smart, whether you thought it was a bad idea, both teams didn't make finals. Now, Canada's team, I think, placed outside the top 100. They started off really, really hot. I'm not really sure what happened. Again, in case you guys haven't been following, that is Canada, Bolts, and Rapid. However, Acorn's team, Acorn, Aegis, and Poyo, they did a lot better, but they came 34th overall. They just missed out on qualifying for finals, which means both the new trios, with all the drama that's going on, them contesting each other, clearly isn't really working out for either of them. And they did actually verse each other on spawn. They had one game in the opens where they dropped on each other. Canada's team ended up winning it. Then the other game, it looked like they were going to drop on each other going into the last game because they both needed a big game to qualify. I believe one of the teams ended up dropping somewhere else, but both of them still weren't able to get enough points. So those first new trios didn't do too hot. Now, talking about opens, and I can't believe I'm saying this, Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual did not make finals. This is extremely rare. I know it's insane to say. I haven't talked about this in a while. A lot of people freaking out. Oh my god, they've fallen off. Poyo is going to be picked up by Pete now. Cole's getting dropped. Ritual's getting dropped. I think we're jumping the gun a little bit. They have just won 6 Cash Cup finals in a row. Yes, they didn't make Eval Cup finals. Peterbot went live on stream. They just seemed like they didn't really care that much. The first few games, they weren't even using drop calcs or drop maps. They were just trying to drop in. They were getting out dropped, still 50-50. They were messing around a little bit too hard. I think they got a little bit too overconfident. And then by the time Pete ended stream and they tried to lock in, they just only had 2 games left. One of the games was decent, and in the next game, they went down in the mid game trying to drop like a 30 bomb to qualify. So they didn't make finals, so it was extremely interesting to watch an NA finals without Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual. Do I think they're going to split up? Do I think this is some crazy sign that they're now falling off and all the new teams are better than them? No, I don't think so. I wish I could say that. I genuinely wish I could say that, because it would make the storylines a lot more exciting right now. NA, with these new trios especially, is so stacked and so fun to watch, and I think anyone could take it except for Peterbot. But we'll see. We have Division 1 tomorrow. Maybe this is the start of the downfall of Peterbot, but more likely it's an Eval Cup. They didn't care that much. But a few of the new trios, I have to talk about how well they did, and now we're talking about finals. We have Clix, Batman Booga, and Iomzo. Clix's confirmed new trio, winning 2 games in the finals. That's a record on NA, by the way. And they also got a 3rd and a 4th. So an 11 kill win, 9 kill win, 5 kill 3rd, 7 kill 4th. So Clix's new trio looking absolutely phenomenal. If you watch Clix's stream, the vibes are amazing. They were playing really, really well together. Their comms were good, and Clix is streaming it. So if there was any concerns that Iomzo or Batman Booga didn't want Clix to stream it, he talked about how he might not stream FNCS to get a good trio. They're fine with him streaming, and they're doing extremely well. They have talked about how in the finals they might do no comms on stream, where basically they just route the audio out of the stream so they can talk to each other on Discord, but no one on the stream can hear them. So it's just gameplay with gameplay sound, but then there's no comms and there's nothing else. But a lot of people questioning that, oh, it's because they don't want to leak the strats. Yes, potentially, BloodX is now working with them again. They're working with a coach. Maybe don't want to leak some of their strats. More often, it's the pressure. If you have a bad game or something goes wrong and you want to discuss what went wrong and why, it's much nicer doing that without 20,000 people listening in. You can be a lot more honest. You can be more constructive. And it takes a lot of the pressure off, especially if you make a bad call or a bad play. When the chat can't hear what you're saying, it does really take a lot of the blame out of whose fault it was. And it's just, I don't know. I fully understand why teams want to do this, because people still want to watch Clix play. They want to follow how well he's doing. They still want the content, and they'll still definitely watch a stream like that. It just takes the extra pressure off. So Clix has mentioned he might do that. So if you tune into Clix's stream and there's no comms, that's why. But for the most part, it looks like they're still streaming everything and absolutely dominating. They did so extremely well in opens too. So today was just basically opens and finals back-to-back, just flawless gameplay from Clix's new trio. Now, I know you're probably thinking, oh, Muzz and Rise must feel like idiots for dropping Clix with him doing so well now. Maybe, but also Muzz and Rise are doing extremely well without Clix now. After picking up Yapko, they also won one of the games in finals, got an 11 kill second, 14 kill second, 7 elim win, and a 2 elim 6th. Now, one of those second places was at the hands of Clix, Batman, Booga, and Iomzo. It was a straight 3v3 to close out the game. It was super exciting, but it's fair to say both trios ended up better off, and I kind of want to talk about that. In duos, you could have two players who didn't get along really well, or maybe they didn't gel the best, but they still were just really, really good players, and they would still win tournaments and do well. In trios, it's all about vibes. It's all about being on the same page, making the same decisions, having the same play style, and that is extremely important. There is way less individual plays in trios, and it's more about team gameplay. Quite often, all three of you making the wrong decision together is better than three people making separate right decisions. It's just always been like that with team game modes. So again, I'm a huge fan of everyone involved in both those trios, so I'm going to be biased here, but I do think it's a situation of just Clix wasn't fitting in well with Muzz and Rise's playstyle, decision making, or whatever it was, and now both players have landed on phenomenal trios, which is the perfect scenario for me. Obviously opposite to what's going on with Kanata and Acorn right now. Again, that situation is a little bit different because they're trying to contest each other. The vibe's a little bit off. It's a lot more toxic, which I think hurts when you try to find a new trio, especially if you keep contesting each other. But as far as the Clix and Muzz situation goes, both trios are absolutely loving it, and we've now got two new tier 1 trios on NA because of it. Now, the other team that's doing extremely well, again, very consistent match history, Vidil, Cooper, and Sphinx, getting a 6 elim 5th, 0 elim 7th, 5 elim win, and a 13 elim 2nd. So again, all three of these trios doing extremely well throughout the day, and I say throughout the day because they were also the top 3 trios in opens. Muzz, Yapko, and Rise won opens on 379, showing how insanely good this trio is at W King right now. They got a 26 kill second, 20 kill first, 11 kill first, 11 kill fourth, and an 18 kill win. So Muzz's new trio absolutely dominating in opens, but Vidil, Cooper, and Sphinx coming in second, and Clix, Batman, Booga, Iomzo coming in third. So all three trios coming top 3 in opens and then winning 1 or 2 games in finals. It is worth mentioning, like I talked about at the start here, we are missing a lot of our big players. When you take the caliber of Poyo, Peterbot, Cold, Ritual, Acorn, Kanata, Aegis, you take those players out of a finals lobby, and it's going to leave more room for the teams that are left to absolutely dominate. But these finals weren't super easy by any means. I think all three of these trios at the top here are going to do very, very well in FNCS coming into grand finals. We'll have to see what ends up happening with, Acorn and Kanata's new teams. I can't see them both contesting each other. Kanata made it very clear on stream he intends to go Demon Dojo every single game. He will happily come last in grand finals and make $0 and hold down that drop spot because he doesn't agree with how Acorn and Aegis treated him. He said, look, I fully get them dropping me if they want to, if they think they've got better options. The week before FNCS sucks, but the fact of how they handled it and the fact they then tried to then go the drop spot that I would now be going with their 2 ex-teammates just crossed the line, and Kanata's taking it personally now. So I have a feeling we will see Acorn's trio leave potentially, or we're going to see something happen where these trios split up again. I feel like today is only a 1 tournament performance. We'll have to see how Division 1 goes this week, but if both teams or either of them struggle again in Division 1, there's no way they don't split up and create some kind of a new trio. They could go back to where they were. The vibes seem a little bit off, so I don't think that's very likely, but there's no way they're going to, a week out from FNCS, settle for not qualifying for 2 tournaments in a row. These players are all way too good. They have way too much on the line to then mess this up. Now, before we break down the EU leaderboard, I have a lot of people asking me what's going on in the German scene right now. So you maybe saw a tweet that has since been deleted by Yanis, where Yanis was basically insinuating that Rezon is paying his teammates to land on him. Now, I don't speak German, so I'm kind of going off the replies that are in English and also the Twitter translate, so I could be wrong. Feel free to correct me in the comments if I am, but basically my understanding of this is Yanis is not happy that Rezon and his team is now dropping on him. If you haven't followed my videos, you know what's going on. Yanis, No Riley, and Rezon were playing together in trios. Rezon got dropped so they could play with Chaff. Now, because they got dropped only like a week out from FNCS, I think Rezon doesn't really know or have any other good drop spots, so he's decided he's going to land back on Yanis with his new trio with Cheatin and Kiddo. Now, I understand why that would be super frustrating from Yanis, but I don't know if they're directly targeting, trying to grief him and mess up Yanis, or whether it's just Master Meadows is the only drop Rezon knows. Rezon did reply to Yanis's tweet that's still up, where he said that no one's getting paid, but he is going to raid them every single time and they're going to stream all of it. So there seems to be a little bit going on there where Rezon's at least making a joke or saying that, hey, we're going to make more money out of this. We don't really care about what happens to the spawn fight. So a little bit of drama going on there. I can't think of any times where I've seen the German community go at each other like this. All I know is Vidil is even happier now that he's traveled to NA and is dominating with Cooper and Sphinx, but it will make that spawn fight very, very exciting to watch coming into FNCS. Sadly, today, Rezon's team did not do too fantastic as far as making it to the finals, but going into FNCS contested will be very interesting for Yanis, Noah, and Chap. All right, let's talk about EU finals now. Unlike Peterbot struggling, our EU Titans this week did very, very well in the Eval Cup. We had Vico, Veno, and Flixie play all 4 games of finals, and they won one of them with 24 kills. They opened things up with a 24 kill win, backed it up with an 18 kill second, a 6 Elim 6th, still a fantastic game, but compared to those first 2 games, looks like a bad game, and then 11 kill 4th. Absolutely dominating, especially when Elims are worth nothing. You only get money for the win. A 0 kill win is better than the 18 kill second in this format. And also, I do want to point out one thing that I think a lot of people are overlooking when it comes to this storyline of Peterbot's team and Vico's team. Why are they so good? Why can no one stop them? It's pretty much this. It's their ability to drop a ridiculous amount of Elims in finals in a format where right now in Div 1 Cup finals, Elims are worth 3 points and a win's worth 65. Which is already a pretty crazy ratio, but when you look at grand finals of FNCS, it is 4 points per kill, and a win is still 65. So about 13, 14 kills is equal to a win, and you've got both these teams regularly dropping above that in a single game. So it is going to be extremely hard to stop either of these teams in finals because of that. I'm interested to see whether they can keep up this same level of momentum in a grand finals. Some teams will always inevitably get a little bit more nervous when it comes to grand finals. They'll play a little bit more scared, but I feel like both Pete's team and Vico's team have proven that in finals they play just as crazily, and all of them have FNCS experience at a very, very high level. So I'm interested to see how that plays out, but seeing Vico, Veno, and Flixie leave nothing out there, just go out and fully W key, it's going to be very interesting to see how that plays out. Now, we also had Robin, Axforce, and Fanayan get a win. They got a 13 kill win in their second game. We had the Frenchies, Snazy, Vox, and Ice get a 13 kill win. And then we had Chris, Teeny, and Skivvy also get a win. Now, we didn't see the same consistency from really many of the teams on EU outside of Vico. We also did have Snazy's team get a 1st and 5th, which was pretty good. Robin got a 1st, 7th, and 9th. So a bit of consistency coming out of EU. As far as, again, what happened with Savage's team, in case you guys missed it, I believe, and again, I could be wrong here, Savage was saying he was taking the day off because he was visiting his sick grandpa. W Savage, family's more important than Fortnite. Mongol and Panzer were still home and able to play. They decided not to play together. They both played with different teams. Both of them didn't make finals. I think they were just blowing off some steam and having some fun. But in case you're wondering why Savage didn't make finals, oh my gosh, they're not grinding. Did they split up? No, Savage just had more important stuff to do. Now remember, this is our last week of Divisional Cups. We have FNCS kicking off next week. FNCS is done and dusted in 18 days. From start to finish, FNCS is done in 18 days. So you know I'm going to have a whole bunch of news videos out next week covering FNCS, but it is very, very close to a very short FNCS for this many teams to be up in the air as not performing, splitting up with teammates, finding drop spots. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a lot of content. I'm going to make a bunch of videos. Don't you worry.